Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Kristine and I'm a physical therapist, and I've almost been working for 1 year now, which is super crazy. I feel like I literally just graduated, but that's partly because I just had my in-person ceremony like last month. And I just thought, what better way to finish my 1 year than making a video about some of the things that I learned working as a physical therapist and a healthcare worker for 1 year. So I hope you guys find this video helpful for anyone who's in healthcare or who's just interested to hear about the things I have to say and also about like working during the pandemic. So if you guys like this video, give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, follow me on all my social media, and let's get started. So there's obviously pros and cons to any job, so I'm going to be completely transparent, or as transparent as I can be with this video, and tell you the good, the bad, and just my honest opinion. This is literally just what I think. I didn't get this information from anywhere. I didn't make it up. I'm trying to be real here. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is that it is essential that you take care of your body and continue to prioritize your own health. Despite you being a healthcare worker and constantly having a selfless job and trying to help other people, it's still very important that you take care of yourself so that you're better able to help other people too. So during the past year, I was working in a private outpatient orthopedic clinic, and there's a lot of manual therapy. There's a lot of patients that I see, and I'm always kind of like on the go. I pretty much do cardio like all day, just seeing patients and treating patients. But something that they always emphasized is proper body mechanics during school, and it is extremely important, especially now that I'm working. I understand it a lot more. You just have to take care of yourself. We literally tell patients to stretch all the time, right? And we got to make sure that we're stretching too, because we get stiff from constantly lifting, constantly moving, and constantly just doing a lot of physical work to help our patients get better. Some things that I do is I like to do a lot of yoga, I do stretching, I go to the gym, I do mobility. Anyways, very important tip number one is that it's really important that you got to take care of yourself, because back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, everything can happen. We got to make sure that we're healthy so that we can do this for a long time. So another thing that I learned or realized is that being in healthcare is a super social field, especially as a physical therapist, because we spend so much time with the patients. So if you're not a people person, then you better become a people person, because we are bantering and talking and educating and communicating a lot with patients, family members, caregivers, and other healthcare professionals all day. So you kind of have to want to talk to people, or else you're not going to really like your job very much. Naturally though, I am an extroverted person and I like to be around people for most of the day, so this is good for me. But even at the end of the day, sometimes I can barely mentally handle another conversation or engaging with other people, because I am just physically, mentally, emotionally exhausted. So when I get home, I just need like a good 15 to 30 minutes of just me time, and then I'm able to engage with others again. Yeah, super social field. It's definitely a good thing in my eyes, because I would literally go crazy if I just worked at a computer all day. So I love the fact that I'm able to talk to people all day. It just makes the job so much better, so much rewarding. Which brings me to my third thing that I learned, which is that this career is super demanding, but at the end of the day, it's so rewarding. You're gonna have some patients that you like better, some patients that you get frustrated with because either they're not compliant or they're not getting better and you don't know what to do and you hit a roadblock, or your personalities just don't mesh. Whatever it is, you're still going to have some level of fulfillment when you just see any type of progress. It's super rewarding. I love it, and I think that that's one of the best things, because at the end of the day, I literally feel like I've helped people, and that's just what I like to do. Another thing that I learned is that entering the real world is no joke. So physical therapy is my first actual career. Prior to this, while I was in high school, college, and graduate school, I was a lifeguard, and that's not really a career. So this is definitely my first like adulting job, and adulting is difficult. It's not easy. So when you start to make money and then you start to get bill after bill after bill, you start to realize, is my job actually going to pay all my bills and still allow me to splurge a little bit here and there on things that I want? Physical therapists go through a lot of education, so we do accumulate debt. We have to go through undergraduate and graduate school. So I personally went to a private university for both undergraduate and graduate, so I do have some debt. And I realized that physical therapists do make decent money compared to the average American, but compared to the amount of education that we go through, I don't think we make as much as we should. And I'd have to say that probably insurance is a huge part of that. And it's actually really disappointing because compared to other doctoring professions, I don't think physical therapists make as much money, especially for the amount of physical, manual, emotional, mental labor that we go through and how much time we spend with each patient, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's just something that is real. It kind of makes you question, like, how am I going to keep doing this? Because this is my career, this is how I'm making money, and is it enough for me to do it for the long term? And that's kind of why a lot of people end up going to like home care or academia or other like non-clinical or less demanding roles in the physical therapy world, because it's not an easy job and we need to be able to make money. Anyways, I'm kind of rambling with this, but ultimately I just wanted to say that physical therapists go through a lot of education, accumulate debt, and I don't think we get paid enough for our work, but that's just what I think. Another thing that I learned is a little bit more about the business side of things and productivity demands. You kind of get a little taste of this while you're a student doing your clinical rotations, but for most of the rotations and most of your time as a student, you are not at a full caseload. So you're not gonna really know what it's like to treat that many patients every single day. And it is tiring and it is real. For the past year, I have worked for like a mom and pop shop, a small private business. It is different, but I know that especially in the corporate world, productivity and numbers are huge. So despite us being in healthcare and wanting to give quality care and treat our patients, unfortunately, productivity and numbers is a huge game and will affect the way that we design our treatments and how best we can help the patients. If a physical therapist is working in a big company, this is probably more true, where they have to see X amount of patients. They may have to juggle 3 patients per hour. There's not enough people that are helping, so they're doing this, they're doing this, they're doing this, and they can't really focus on what one patient is doing here versus what the other patient is doing there while they're doing some manual work on the patient that they're currently with. It's just a lot. You're just trying to get through the day at that point and see each patient. Unfortunately, a lot of practices are like that. So you have to choose the best setting and the best practice location for you to grow as a clinician and provide the care that you want. And you're not going to get your perfect job per se, maybe your first year. For me, I was applying during the middle of a pandemic, so usually the job market is a little bit better for physical therapists, but it was not ideal during the pandemic. So I was really just trying to get some experience, find somewhere for me to dip my feet wet, and then afterwards I would then find a better fit once things started getting back to normal. Which kind of brings me towards my next tip, which is be careful with where you choose to begin your career or where you pick your first job, because we're new grad clinicians, we're entry level, there's still so much to learn. And I think that where you first start your career is really going to set the pace of where you're going to go. You don't want to start off as like a lazy clinician, or you don't want to get burnt out too quickly because the productivity demands of your practice are too high, or whatever the reason is. So try your best and be patient with picking your first practice location, because you don't want to just start a job and then leave. So try to find a good fit, and you definitely want to apply to as many places as you can so that you have options and you can compare, you can ask questions, you can ask to observe the place, you can reach out to people who you may know that have experience for that with that company. So I would say just be patient with where you pick your first job, because it definitely is super important. Finally, we're at my last point of things that I want to share after working for 1 year in healthcare, is that you are constantly learning. So don't be afraid to make mistakes, but at the same time, be confident. Be confident that you're fresh out of school, you have all of the academic knowledge in the back of your head, you're pretty much like a textbook in there, you're fresh, you have new techniques, you have research. So there's just a lot that you have to offer, but also you don't know everything. So be a sponge and try to learn as much as you can from other clinicians, from your boss, from other healthcare professionals. There's just always something to learn. And don't be afraid to look something up if you don't know it, because you have it there. You have everything in your toolbox. But also just know that you cannot get comfortable, because especially in healthcare, things are constantly changing. So research is changing, there's new technology, there's new research, there's new information that comes out. So we have to stay on top of things and be very flexible and adaptable. You just want to constantly be learning. And I think that that's great, because I love learning about physical therapy in this field. And I also really enjoy doing research. So that pretty much sums up what I wanted to share with you guys in this video. I hope you guys found this helpful or learned something about me or whatever. Anyways, I'm super exhausted. It's like 10 o'clock and I still need to change and shower and everything. If you made it this far, thank you. And thank you guys all so much for the support so far. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.